Hello, my name is Adrian Reed, and today I will be talking to y'all about this diagnosing the need for team building. A major question dealing with this discussion is when coworkers work closely on a team project, is there such thing as being too close? Um, Many people have their own opinions on this topic. Some answers, are like, no, there's no such thing as being too close. And then some are, of course, yes, there's a such thing as being too close. Um, in my lifetime, I've seen both positive and negative impacts on businesses dealing with couples and how managers handle things differently. I'm not gonna say where, but when I was growing up, I worked at a retail store, and I probably worked there for about a year until we got to end up getting a new manager. And when that manager came in, he had um, basically went through and found out who the couples were in the store. Who dated who, and if they didn't break up, they weren't allowed to work there anymore. They had to go find a new job. Like he's crushed it all right before anything could even happen, or if he even known that anything would happen. Because personally speaking, although it's part-time when I was in high school, word gets around. So I would have heard, hey, such and such got into a fight today on the floor, or any of that. But when he came through, I guess regardless of the situations or anything that could have possibly happened, he probably had an experience in the past, or he was just going by policy, and he knocked out all relationships. If you wanted to date, you couldn't work at the same store, you couldn't work at the same place. Like no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Either you break up and you're proving that you're broken up, or you find another job. um let's see. mm, Also, I have been in places where um I have, well, not been in places, but worked at places where I have had managers that allow couples to work. Um, they're able to be on the same shift, work the same days, because it may be convenient for the couple, and depending on how well they work together, the manager's like, okay, like, yeah, that's fine. I got two stones, for one purchase. Like, hey, they're both coming in. That's two bodies automatically that I know that are guaranteed, and they're coming together. So and for some managers, it made sense. For some couples, like, hey, they're reliable together. They work hard together. We could use them together. Personally speaking, from my point of view, I would probably say that it would be better, to not work with couples, only to the fact that sometimes y'all can have an argument at home, or um there could be just some tension in the air. Y'all know it as a couple, how each other feels, and how the energy in the air is versus everybody else. It could cause problems at work. You not talking, or you acting some type of way, or even then, what if your job consists of you having to talk to other people, and you know your your girlfriend always assumes that you're flirting with the female customers, or the guy always feels like your girl is flirting with the male customers, and that causes tensions. Whether you argue on the floor, or you argue at home, or it just causes too much problems. So whatever happens at work, kind of just like stays at work, out of the picture, as in, not saying keep secrets, but as in, like, if you talk to 15 girls today at work because it's what your job requires you to, there's no need to have to come home and be like, oh, I talked to 15 girls. This is all we talked about. This is everything. Like, it's work. They know what happens at work. There's certain things that are inevitable when it comes to work, and that's talking to the opposite sex, apparently. And I think a way that I could use this to help me improve myself is just like, personally speaking, not not working with a couple, like, yeah, we could work, could work good together, and the work could be there, the chemistry could be there, but at the same time, it's just like it could be bad for business at on both sides of, according to the manager. It could hurt him more than it could hurt y'all. With that being said, that dealing with, because a lot of businesses, have a policy where, they don't allow couples to work. And if they do, they can't work the same shifts or the same days. Like if my girlfriend goes in and once she gets off, I can go in if she didn't work, all day, or we just work different days of the week. They try to, balance it out to where we're not really on the floor together, or if we are, it's only for like a limited amount of time. Like she has like 45 more minutes left on her shift before she gets off, based on policy. And it keeps the conflict of having to, know that the one of them could come to work with, having to arguing. They argued in the car way to work, and then next thing you know, like the energy's bad. It just saves all that. And Christian wise, for being a Christian wise, I feel like it would, be fair in a way, to just, kind of make that like a standard everywhere, due to the fact that, sometimes relationships could cause problems for other people at work. Like, not saying that, hey, you're going to work looking for, to make friends or to be in a relationship with somebody else, or to just sit there and talk to somebody else about your problems. But, like say you and me and my girlfriend had gotten into an argument, and I go to work, and then another coworker, a female friend, or it could even be a male friend, just comes over there and starts talking to me, or we could be like me and him could be talking about his relationship or something, and my girlfriend over happens to, hear the conversation and thinks that we're talking about us, and then, guess what? That's a conflict there, So it's just, I think, it'll make it fair, it'll kind of, help it, like being respectful to others, like, there's a, the saying that there's a place for everything. I think that'll pretty much play into par with that being said, because, a place is business, is for business only. A place for, relationships and romance and all that, could be for outside of work. You're like, yeah, even if, you're single and, you're hitting on coworkers, and all that, try to do it outside of work rather than doing it inside of work. Because when you do it inside of work, it could, cause tension. Somebody else could, be in there that likes you too, and they'll, cause a problem between them two. Then they'll start hating each other, or, the options could be limitless in this case.